So MoMo is actually a very positive energy companion. All right. After we finish talking about all this, we want to tell everyone that actually all kinds of energy come from things like visuals, frequencies, sounds, and most importantly, our thoughts, what we call intentions. We need to have an intention. Mindfulness means what we call a positive mindset, right? That's really important. The energy of mindfulness. So let's take a look together at the power of words for MoMo. What kind of words does MoMo need that can help boost his energy? Let's read it together. I am a charismatic leader, wise, compassionate, innovative, determined, and positively impactful. I embody universal love, connecting deeply with all being. I am completion personified, celebrating growth within life's rhythmic cycles. I gladly accept and celebrate every stage of growth, and I keep striving to grow continuously. This is MoMo, okay? Steadfastly refusing to ever give up on my journey. All right, now that we've finished talking about MoMo this Tuesday, just as I had previously promised to each and every one of you, let's review together the personality traits of all our personal energy companions, shall we? Are we ready? All right, everyone, listen up. If you truly belong to the 𝐤𝐢𝐜 family, then let's all go and head over to 𝐤𝐤𝐜 on the screen right now, okay? Yes, that is it. Let's all type the word Ya in the chat box. Let me see exactly how many of you out there are the true representatives of their wonderful personal energy companion 𝐤𝐤𝐜 today. All right, you can start typing now. 𝐤𝐤𝐜 is really amazing. Let me summarize for you now, because 𝐤𝐤𝐜 is a leader, a leadership figure. So what does that mean? We see that his color is yellow, right? So looking at his in this world, he comes to be a leader and he does things very quickly. Isn't he also very direct and full of energy? Everyone really wants to rely on his because he's great. He bravely pushes forward and leads everyone in everything. So let's take a look. Actually, how can one become a truly positive representative like 𝐤𝐤𝐜? That's it. Let's talk. We really need to strive to become a collaborative and cooperative person. Because 𝐤𝐤𝐜 itself is well established in innovation and management capabilities. Many times when we do things directly, we neglect cooperation with other people. Right? So if you are a leader or someone in charge like 𝐤𝐤𝐜, but you don't work together with others, then we say you become what's called a commander without soldiers. That is a general without any subordinates or troops. You won't be able to realize your potential. If it's just his alone, isn't that really lonely? So, to become a truly successful and energetic 𝐤𝐤𝐜, there's one thing you must have, and that's what's called a missing heart, the red heart. Alright, so now everyone understands. When I am 𝐤𝐤𝐜 and I need to work together with others, it's not just about me being great on my own. When others work with me, things become even more efficient, right? So by becoming a big team, that energy becomes even stronger and we can achieve even more. Now let's take a look at another person. 𝐷𝐷𝐷. All right, so what about 𝐷𝐷𝐷's friends? We're playing with 𝐷𝐷𝐷 up in the galaxy. 𝐷𝐷𝐷, yes, 𝐷𝐷𝐷. Let's take a look at 𝐷𝐷𝐷. We say he is a harmonizer. So what color does he represent? It's sky blue. All right, so 𝐷𝐷𝐷 is very harmonious and really knows how to express himself persuasively. He never argues or fights with others when doing things. Do you have any friends like that around you? He is also the best listener and a really good mediator, what we call a peacemaker. So whenever there's any argument, as long as 𝐷𝐷𝐷 is around, things always get resolved peacefully, right? Many problems are easily solved, which is actually pretty great, isn't it? So we say he's a real expert at communicating with others indeed. Whether it's giving speeches, lectures, or in any other area, he is an outstanding communication expert. Okay, so for those of us working in sales, if you have If you have the personality of a Wawa, then congratulations. Things will go twice as well with half the effort. However, Wawa types also have something they need to cultivate, a certain mindset. What kind of mindset? We call it determination. Why is that? Because sometimes Wawa types, you're good, they're good, everyone's good, but you just can't be firm. So what exactly is your stance? What do you really want? Other people might not be clear about it, or when they have to make an important decision, this kind of wavering will also happen. Like we say, it's really hard to make a decision, and at times like this, you'll end up missing a lot of opportunities, right? So in the end, it turns out that if you want to bear your own responsibilities, you must have a determined heart. Are you someone with a strong and resolute energy, like a steadfast little treasure? So you need to answer us honestly. If you're not sure about yourself, that's okay. We can do a detailed profiling report test in iMatrix, all right? Okay, let's take a look. Fifi, do you have any friends like Fifi? Fifi's friends, let's call them creators. Now let's type Fifi on the screen. They really should be called true creators because Fifi is always incredibly quick and decisive, very proactive in everything he does, and he never drags things out, right? And it truly seems like he never hides his inner feelings. Whatever he's thinking or feeling at the moment, it's all clearly written on his face for you to see. So, do you happen to have any close friends like Fifi around you? Isn't it just great? Because when you're spending time with them, you never have to worry or guess what they are thinking. They pretend to be someone else. They always show you their truest self because they don't even know how to hide anything. Isn't that interesting? That's right. Everything has to be fast, fast, fast. Sometimes they might get a lot of opportunities that way, right? But at the same time, because they move too quickly, they might end up getting hurt, don't you think? If we don't have a bit of caution or take some time to really understand the situation or carefully analyze it, we might end up making some reckless decisions. That's what happens. This is also the case for Fifi. That is, if he lacks this kind of grounding ability, then we say that for a companion to achieve even greater energy, what do we need? We say that we need something called patience. That means there's no need to rush. For everything, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and think it over before making a decision. This will help Fifi, and things will turn out more complete and satisfactory when making decisions, right? Are you thinking if you might be like that too? Many of Fifi's friends have experienced this as well, because at that time they were too impatient, acted too quickly, and ended up making the wrong decision instead, right? Okay, let's take another look, right, MoMo? Yes, so let's see if there are any more. Is there anyone else? MoMo, right? Let's all do this together on the screen. All right, then let's call this the thinker, the thinker, the thinker. They're really impressive, always eager to learn, constantly seeking out details, and they plan things thoughtfully and consider everything deeply. What we're talking about here is all about logic. So how can this personality type, this energetic little one, become even more successful? We say there's no need to be so lacking in self-confidence. We need to regain our confidence. Why do they always look for cases or analyze things in such detail, talking about so much logic and analysis? Often it's because they feel they haven't figured things out clearly yet. They feel very insecure about that core issue, don't they? Right? So sometimes because of that, we might overthink things like thinking too much and end up trapping ourselves in a situation, right? We call it getting stuck in our own thoughts. So what should we do? We need to... What did you say to them? Remember? Basically, at the end of the day, what is right is simply right. However, sometimes in this life, it is perfectly okay to be just a little bit muddled, especially when we are within the circle of the family. We are not always talking about strict logic or complex reasoning or analyzing every single detail with our brains. Sometimes we just really need to talk about love, don't you think? We should talk about our deepest feelings, and honestly, that is perfectly fine. Basically, if it's right, then it's right. Okay, so there's no need to scrutinize things too much. We also need to give ourselves the chance, starting from small things, to gradually gain a sense of achievement. In this way, from a young age, we can start to build up our self-confidence. And in the future, we'll become someone who is not only successful, but also even more energetic. A little bundle of positive energy. How about that? All right, let's take a look. Boo Boo's friends, their energy color is brown. So we say, Boo, you're really proactive. Is there anyone here who is a boo? Let's type boo on the screen, okay? Let's all type it together. Boo is very proactive by nature. He's just naturally free-spirited and really needs to have that drive, you know? Why does he need to be so proactive? We say he needs to harness that drive because most of the time he's just so free and uninhibited. That's right, so free that he doesn't want anyone to control him and he doesn't want to control others either, right? When he does things, no matter what level of people he's dealing with, everyone really agrees with him, right? It's simple. He has clear goals and knows exactly what he's doing, but a lot of the time, he can be a bit indifferent, like he loves you, but doesn't pay attention. And that makes others wonder, what exactly do you want? Because sometimes his freedom goes overboard, you know? Sometimes the impression he gives people is, we really don't know what you want. But he does have a kind of leadership quality, right? So we hope that Boo can have a more proactive mindset, so that he pays more attention to things, cares more about important people, and then he won't so easily give others the impression that he's indifferent or detached, like he doesn't care about things that don't concern him. That way, he can achieve even more. We really like him and he has a lot of charisma. Right, isn't that good? Okay, let's take a look together. As for someone with taste, yes, 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐬. So, do you have 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐬 as a friend? We choose 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐬 from the perspective of fairness. Are there any friends of 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐬? Yes, there are, right? That's right. So are they golden? Right, 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐬, isn't that so? We have a kind of rich gold. Like which gold? Yes, that's it. Because 𝐕𝐬𝐬𝐬, very good taste.